Shalom, shalom. In today's video, we will be discussing the 8th verse of Safra Detzniuta, the secret or concealed book of the Zohar. With that being said, let us begin. If you'd like to follow along, we are in book 11 of the Kabbalah Center edition of the Zohar. Safra Detzniuta. The 6,000 years that the world exists derive and expand from the first 6 words, which are created Elohim the heaven and the earth. The 7th is above them and alone is strengthened, namely the word in the beginning that preceded them. Everything was destroyed in 12 hours, as written, was without form and void. The 13th will be established by those 12 hours with mercy, and they are renewed as before. These 6 will arise again, because it is written created, and afterwards it is written was, which implies that now it is not anymore. This is because it certainly was during the 6,000 years, and in the end, during the 7th millennium, it is without form and void and darkness, because it was destroyed. This is the meaning of, and Hashem alone shall be exalted on that day, namely during the 7th millennium. There's a lot to cover here, so let us begin unpacking this. The 6,000 years needs to be addressed first. It explains here that they derive and expand from the first 6 words, which are created Elohim the heaven and the earth. Let us analyze this. So, the words that he is discussing are the words Bereshit, Bara, Elohim, Etz, Va'et, and Haaretz. He makes an allusion to 6 words, because the word Hashemayim here does not contain an aleph in it. And an aleph as a word is aleph lamed fe, which has a gematria of 1,000. And so we can see here 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and 6,000. Thus he mentions 6,000 years. The 6,000 years that the world exists derive and expand from the first 6 words, which are created Elohim, the heaven and the earth. Similarly, Bereshit, created 6, and then 6 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that allude to 6 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bara Elohim et Hashemayim et Haaretz. The 7th is above them and alone is strengthened, namely the word in the beginning that preceded them. And what does this mean? Regarding the word Bereshit, Safra Detzniuta says this: Bereshit, in the beginning. Understand this word is permuted 70 ways. And this is called the Palace of Bina, as mentioned in Tikkunei Zohar. For this commentary, the most important. Bereshit can be arranged to say Beit, Rosh, head house. Regarding the house, Beit. And it is written, wisdom, Atziluth, built a house, Beit, and established it with 7 pillars. This house is the house of the temple called Bina, and its 7 pillars are the 7 Sephiroth in preceding order: Chesed, Gavur, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yisod, Malkuth, Rosh, head. And understand Rosh is referred to in the Zohar as the 3 upper Sephiroth, Kether, Chokmah, and Bina, collectively called head. So we see in the first word the construct of an upper world. This world is Atziluth, And so it is written in the Zohar, Beit Rashit, second beginning, as Atziluth has established the first. Now understand Atziluth is in the Sephiroth Chokmah, which, using the 231-gate cipher, is identified by the letter Beit. Similarly, Rashid Chokmah. Everything was destroyed in 12 hours, as written, was without form and void. And similarly, there is a Vav and Va'et Ha'aretz, and then there is, and the earth was void without form. And the 12 are the two Vavs, here and here, which create 12. Everything was destroyed in 12 hours, as written, was without form and void. The 13th will be established by those 12 hours with mercy, and they are renewed before. These 6 will arise again, because it is written, created, and afterwards it is written, was, which implies that now it is not anymore. This is because it certainly was during the 6,000 years and in the end. And here are the 6,000 years mentioned. And then it mentions those 6. And then here, we're not anymore. Why? Because it says, was without form and void, in reference to, and the earth, which was alluded to. And this is to show us the Vav, which are the secret of Zer Anpin and Nukva, or the secret of the kings, which are the secret of Vav and He, Zer Anpin and Nukva, in Malkuth. These 6 will rise again. This has been established. The 6,000 years, this has also been established. During the 7th millennium, the 7th millennium is 7,000. And the secret of the 7th millennium is this. The Aleph in Bereshit is the first millennium. The 2nd millennium is the Aleph in Bara. The 3rd is in Elohim. The 4th is in Et. The 5th is in Va'et. The 6th is in Ha'aretz. And the 7th Aleph, which is the 7,000, is the Ha'aretz. And what does it say here? Was without form and empty. This is the secret of. During the 7th millennium, it is without form and void and darkness, because it was destroyed. This is the meaning of, and Hashem alone will be exalted in that day, namely during the 7th millennium. Thus we have read on the 7th millennium, and the earth was without form and void. And similarly, we read that the 13th, which is the Ha'aretz, the 13th word from the end of the 2nd verse, it says it will be established by those 12 in mercy, the 12 of this Vav and the 12 of this Vav. And this is the secret of these 12 words. Is without form and empty and darkness on the face of the deep, which is the upper face of the deep, called empty darkness without form and void. And the spirit of Elohim, which is the Zer Anpin of Berea, moving above the Nukva in the aspect of Yetzirah, moving gently on the face of the waters. And this is the upper face of the waters, which is Yetzirah. These are the 12 that will establish the 13th in the aspect of the worlds and the beard. This is, and Hashem alone shall be exalted on that day. Which day was that? The 7th millennium, the Ha'aretz. That being established, Shalom, Selah.